the ship's actually pretty simple. What it consists of is basically we're gonna get a cockpit from the tail model. It's gonna be that. The hab situation is like this. And then I'm using ATPA tile hab look, but you could use like Stroud Premium. He has a really good elevator too, so you could use that one. There's like a couple of other mods that add elevators, but I used the DPA just because the hab models looked like the tail ones. But the way it goes is this one is memory. So that's like the entire hab layout. It's just you go in, you go up a level, and it's the infirmary and the workshop. Then one more level goes up to a computer core, to the control station, to the actual cabin, and then back here is just an all-in-one and a captain's quarters. Um, what you'll need for this particular ship is you're gonna need ASC tail, obviously. You need SMSEX for a thing called the Gillibrand Spacer. I only use one. Um, I think that's it. So I used TPA, or sorry, Darkstar for their reactors because I like their reactors and their better engines. Like you can have like the Nova White Dwarf engines, the Eagle ones. Do we have it here? Here you go. So the Darkstar, you can have pretty much any um, engine, and you can have like even these, and they're actually like really good. So you can actually boost and feel good flying with those engines. So for this one, I did use Darkstar, but just like use the reactor and the singularity drive just in one little spot. But it's a B class ship. You could just merge a regular grav drive with a reactor. So for example, the Aurora is B class, I think. Yeah. And then reactor for B class. You just merge them together. The way that I like to do it is just you line them up, you grab these two, and then when you want to take this and shove it in there, all you gotta do is just select the whole thing, unselect this one. So for like the greebling, I did use something from a mod called SETI. It's Ship Exterior True Illumination, I think is what it's called. But it adds little lights that you can add to your ship. This one adds like little navigation lights. So like on planes, they have like green and red on the sides. What else? That's it really. Like I tried to build this with as few mods like merging together as possible. Like I would definitely use different weapons, but I just used like the vanilla ones just so you can see what it looks like regardless. You can just add whatever weapons you want. The shield you can also change this one's just 15. But if you use something like, it's Ventilages, but it adds like a, no, Tiger Armories. They have like a little shield booster, which can give you like extra shields in case that's what you want. But 15 is actually pretty decent. Like almost matches a C class one. But that's about it. So you can get the parts at the ASC Teo showroom in Neon. You gotta go to Neon, and then you get inside. There's like a little tower. I think it's Ryujin. The Ryujin Tower. Just go to the Teo showroom, and then there's a little vendor for ASC. But I'm using Shipbuilder Configurator, so I have access to all parts. Like no matter what place you go to, if it's your ship platform or if you're into Atlantis, you'll have access to all the parts like regardless. So you can do either or. But anyway, for the structural, it's actually really simple. So let's grab the first thing, which is the kiloprint spacer. We only need one, and it's the top bottom. And then we're gonna go to the ASC stuff, and honestly, everything is pretty much ASC. Like I didn't really use much else, like just so you didn't have to merge too many different mods just to get the ship. But we're gonna use this little grid reducer for the little like turrets on the side. We're gonna use the weapon mounts and some of these other parts. So let's scroll all the way down to the. Here it is. Yeah, there you go. So what we did is sitting on the half grid. Oh, yeah. And then I think it just so just take the item and then change the variance. And let's see. So also take the nose cap, flip it to be the other side. Long curved surface for the ship. I also grabbed the engines. Let's go ahead and put those on right now. The engines I used were the new Tile ones. Please, Wiz, make them a decorated version, please. I need. These take 4 power each, so you can only have 3. With I need more engines, 500 engines. Let's go back to the structural parts. Again, thankfully I use nothing but ASC to try to keep all the mixing of mods like down. Again, you can just swap whatever weapons you want. Shield if you want. The engines, well, they kind of have to stay. You can add like maybe 3 more power for an engine before. 3. Well, you can use like 2 power engines if you want. If you have like any other mods that can like add extra. We're gonna take these station racing. the Seiji panel, the Seiji. We're also gonna take the Seiji panel section here. We're gonna take this one, the Seiji panel. Okay, so you have to flip it a few times, but it will be the 1, 2, 3, 5. It's the fifth option for section C. We're gonna place that way it kind of like slopes into the section here, and it has like a little intake looking vibe right there. What else is crucial to like the minimal? The fuel tanks, I put them here. They're the fuel tank section right here. I use 40 for the back one. Then I think I also used it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I used 2 of them. There. Alright. And then these parts. So we're gonna grab the grab the window. I did have a window for one section. It's gonna be right here at the end of the. Alright, really quick. Here's the Seiji section A. We're going to use this and open it up. It's going to go right here. I'm going to take it and flip it. So this one. Then we take this section, the Seiji panel section. When we flip it, it'll do the same thing. Also going to take these like that for the part here. And then what we did was all of us together, guys, with our friendship. There it is. The Seiji Delta panel. There. Then just copy these two. also going to take the same ones that we use over here, but we're going to be using them flipped the other way. So it is going to be Gen 6, I believe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Option 8 on the ASC section corner panel. We're gonna flip it. Flip it. And put it right there. That way we have that little like scoop going on. I used this one is gonna be the Seiji Hayate nose cap. Flip it upside down. Place it right there. That way it creates like a nice little smooth uprising with it. I used the here. So what I did was that I flipped it on the side like this. And then like this. These things are connecting to the connection point right there. Right there. That's what they're going to be snapping to when I on. So for this one, I put it up close to it, like that. Select the whole shape, and it'll snap in place. This one, I used the alternate version that is fully here. That there. And that's going to be for the suppressor. Again, you could swap out any of these parts for anything that you want. You can put something else there, a decorative one if you want. But that's a little spot for any kind of weapon. Then we're going to take the grade reducer. This one again is up at the very top of the entire list. Right here. Grade reducer. So we're going to take this, flip it on its side. Right here. And right there. Also, I did take these weapon mounts, and I'm going to show you how I connect this because the equipment plate doesn't look too good on the just exposed like that. It looks a little weird, so here, let me just show you. Like that. So when you still paint it, it like, I don't know, it just like bothers me the way it like sticks out. It's just really weird looking. See, even if like you try to color match it, it just looks off. So I did a little trick using the weapon mounts here. I'll show you right now. I'm just gonna put a random weapon just for the purpose of showing. So this thing does have like a mount point on the side there. It's like a legit mount point for weapons. So I took these and put them to the skeleton version, or the fully open. Put the weapon where I wanted it. There. Snapped it on like that. I copied this. Put it on the other side. And what I did was I select the whole thing. I deselect this little weapon mount. Grab it. And just move it over. So now you have a little weapon mount there. The problem is that I think if you're using TNs, all-in-one modifications, which I recommend, it can create like a weird snap point. So I don't know if it'll still work if you remove this weapon and then try to put something else. Sometimes it'll snap weird, so just keep that in mind. all you would have to do is just select the thing, take it out, swap out the weapon, and then just put it back in. Same for the other side. But yeah, that's where you could put weapon mounts for the thing. Another little detail I used was the stage panel section A. This one is going to be, I think, at the very top of the ASC list. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So it's the section A. Just flip it upside down. Oops. Copy this over. And you're good. We're going to take this section and copy it down to go right there. And then we're going to use, oh, it flipped backwards as well. Okay. So just flip the version that way, so it could be backwards. Because that's going to lead off into the little cargo section right there. And there's also like these little parts that I added to kind of give it a little bit more form. These aren't really necessary, like down here, but you could add them to your ship just to give them a little bit more, you know, a little bit more form. I did try to incorporate some actual like vanilla tile pieces as well. So you're going to have two right here, and on the other side. And then we're going to be using the Tayo caps, these right here. And we're going to put them there. And also right here. We're going to be getting this right here, the stage panel section B. It's going to go, there you go, flip like that. You're going to flip that way, and then flip to the other side. And does it continue on? Okay. Section B. Okay. So I did a little cheat by like just letting it like continue its little form by flipping it the other way and putting it there. That way it kind of like curves back in to the actual ship. Then flip over to the other side. Another detail that you could add is going to be this little tailpipe thing here. I thought it looked pretty cool, like even without this little section here. I just added that just to look like it made more sense. Let me see. Nah, I like it like that. It doesn't need to continue. Anyway, what else? We did grab a, where is it? Here, the sensor mast. I switched it to the August version. This one right here. Placed it there. The shield is the Tayo one, the new one. HSB. Placed it there. Then let's grab some other parts. We're gonna need to grab this section here, the Hayate Type B. This is the one with like the grooves. This one will be, I think, like towards the bottom with the other Hayate stuff. this one. So it's gonna be the nose cap type B. That's the one to use here. We're gonna flip it to be backwards. Please select that. Wait. Oh, there we go. Alright. Yeah. So you're gonna place it to be resting up against the workshop. Basically. Increase that little groove going up there. And then this was the reason why I added this section here, just because I didn't want this to be exposed like that, like a flat surface. So I took the section B. Section B. This one right here. And what I did was took it this. This inverse version. Like that. And just to leave right here. Just the reactor. So the reactor, again, it's just like a B-class engine. You could throw a C-class in there actually. So let's say that you use this slap. So it looks pretty decent because we can. Not quite. Not quite. Damn. Oh, that's cool. There you go. So you can use this little reactor there if you want, and then for the grav drive, I would still recommend just like a B class, but you could throw a C class in there as well. Just shove it in there with the whole thing. But oh wait, does that? I grabbed the Hope Technos, this little cap part. I just flipped it backwards. Put it there. But in this one, I am using the shell for the A class reactor, just because it's like round, kind of like Tayo is. Because you can swap out the reactor to use any of the flat ones. But I use this one just for the there's like more reactor power. But you could always just use that. But yeah, just again, but that's why I merged those two. Get these. These go. Exactly right there. Look at it. Same thing on this side. Alright, we got one side down. Now, how the hell? abusive. Ah, okay. So it's using the section A to control. Of course. How could I have forgotten? Ugh. Honestly, building's just figuring out how to deal with all these damn things. Alright, so we use the section A, then if we go back to A to C, it'll be above the very first stuff. What is it? So we take it, put it on its side like that, like that, and that's how we get it. There we go. Nice little smooth connection point there. And then let's go ahead and grab some of the cargo. I grab. You're gonna have to like move it down a bit because this thing's like sticking out a little bit. Did use that right? Yeah. Okay. You could avoid this if you want, just so you can get rid of a part. It'll kind of smooth it out. But I added this little extra detail here of the round part, just so it can connect to the section here. This. Just like that. It wasn't really necessary. Again, it's just scribbling. Just add a little bit of extra detail. Get that twice, and then get the tendon. You can use it if you want. Put that there. And that's it, actually. That's the entire ship. From here, I did sneak in extra cargo by stuffing it in right there. As you can see right here. Just to kind of fill in the gap, because those little holes are supposed to hold like a weapon, but obviously the weapon would run into everything, so I wanted to kind of cover that up so you could throw a little bit of extra cargo in there. The docker is actually the slim docker, the Deimos one. Put it right there. And I think that's it. I hate when it does this. Well, if you want, stick the tie on. Just use the tie docker. What are you talking about? I'm gonna use this one for now, just so I can. Stick it on like that. I think something messed up with it. I think this is what's. Okay, sure, buddy. All right. Anyway, so I didn't want my ship to have gears. I kind of wanted the silhouette to be the way it was, so I did use micro modules. Micro modules lets you have this thing just anywhere. I just stick it there so it looks like an extra component. But it'll get rid of the landing gear requirement. Alternatively, if you want, I believe this might be enough. Oops. You could set up gears on here. I just didn't want to do it because it was not the vibe that I wanted for the ship. I didn't want it to look that way. But you put two right here underneath the window. It's still like generally out of the way. And then you can copy them over here. And then one more time. Hell, actually that's even enough. But that way your ship looks a little bit more sound when it lands, rather than just, floating there ominously. But you could use that gear setup as well if you didn't want the ship just kind of floating there. But for me, I will not. So let me put on the... Oh, and then for this Hayate version, just flip over the variant to have the little hole there. That's where I put a weapon. And, if you have other weapon mods, there's a lot of cool things that you can definitely put in there. One thing I think would look really cool is the Matilda weapons. Where is it? Like this, like the little railgun. Yeah, like that. If you want a little combat chip, you can put a little thing here. Boom! Just blast some people with that shit. You can put whatever else. But I would recommend something kind of thin in profile. Well, that could work too, actually. If you use this little one. There's all sorts of things you could put there, but that's how I did that. Some extra detailing that I did was I took the fuel tanks. Yeah, is it those? Should be. No, that's too big. I got the smaller fuel tanks. This is just for extra detailing. You can stop here if you want for the ship, because this is pretty much done. But these fuel tanks like this. Cover it over. And I use that as like extra detailing on the newer ship. You can also add the steady lights, which are these. It's an equipment. They're basically just like extra lights, and like I said, like planes have green on the right side and red on the left side. So that way when it's flying at you, you'll see those two colors and you'll know which way it's going. Some of the components in the game actually have that too. Like if you pay attention to certain cabins, you'll notice that it does. But I use the steady light here. I use the green navigation light right here. And then the red one here. That way it adds like a little bit of like that extra detail. I also added the Horizon weapon house. I believe I put it right there. No, it's up there. I'm gonna put those there, and then equipment. I also used these lights from sticking out like that. And then the flat disc ones right there. What else? I think that was it for that. And then up here, I did add the lights to go here. The width like that. And I didn't use any of the floodlights, even though I do like using these. If you have like darker space, if you use these little floodlights, it creates like a little flashlight in space, but it goes like pretty far and it's like pretty useful. I like the way it looks, but I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for the show. And like I said, there's a snap point there. You can swap out this part too. You could put the weapon mounts there, or do the little trick that I mentioned with this thing. Put a weapon mount there. You could always put stuff over here. And yeah, but that's the ship.